Be careful, folks. Peanuts are truly nutritious. But for some people, they can be just like poison. Just a small handful a day can act as a tonic for the heart. But it can also make certain conditions worse. So are peanuts really good or harmful? And who are the people that should absolutely never eat them? You see, peanuts may look small, but their nutritional value is remarkably rich. In 100 grams of peanuts, nearly half is healthy fat, mainly monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, similar to those found in olive oil. These help lower bad cholesterol, raise good cholesterol, and keep blood vessels clear. Peanuts are also packed with more than 25 grams of plant protein, providing sustainable energy that is especially important for manual laborers and growing children. What's more, peanuts contain resveratrol, a famous antioxidant also found in red wine, along with vitamin E, magnesium, and zinc. Resveratrol helps protect cells, slow down aging, and may help prevent certain cancers. Vitamin E keeps skin smooth and delays wrinkles. Magnesium stabilizes the heart, and zinc strengthens the immune system. On top of that, the fiber in peanuts supports healthy digestion and helps regulate blood sugar in otherwise healthy people. When eaten by the right individuals, in the right way, and in the right amount, just a small handful of peanuts each day can deliver many benefits: stronger heart health, fresher skin, and sharper memory. But I must emphasize one important fact: peanuts are not for everyone. For some groups of people, peanuts are truly a double-edged sword. Eating them is no different from inviting illness into the body. Please watch until the end of the video to learn about the 9 groups of people who must absolutely avoid peanuts, the specific scientific reasons for each case, and the safest ways to consume peanuts for maximum benefits. First are people with gout. For those suffering from gout, peanuts are a food that must be completely avoided. The reason is that peanuts contain a fairly high amount of purines. Once inside the body, purines break down into uric acid. Normally, the kidneys help excrete uric acid. But in people with gout, this function is impaired. As a result, uric acid builds up in the blood, gradually crystallizing into urate crystals that deposit in the joints. These crystals are what cause the intense pain, swelling, and burning sensations in joints, especially in the toes, feet, or knees. Not only that, peanuts also contain a lot of fat. For people with gout, excess fat slows down the excretion of uric acid, causing uric acid levels in the blood to rise even higher. This is why just one meal containing peanuts can trigger an acute gout attack, making patients suffer so much they lose sleep and appetite, and sometimes even require hospitalization. Medical experts recommend that gout patients strictly limit foods rich in purines such as organ meats, seafood, alcohol, and peanuts. Instead, they should eat plenty of green vegetables, fresh fruits, whole grains, and drink lots of water to support the kidneys in eliminating uric acid. So, although peanuts are naturally nutritious, for those with gout they are no different from pouring fuel on the fire, worsening the disease and hindering treatment. Not only gout sufferers, but people with diabetes also need to be extremely cautious with peanuts. You might wonder, since peanuts aren't sweet, why are they dangerous for diabetics? The reason lies in the very high fat content of these nuts. Just about 18 small peanuts are equivalent to 10 grams of cooking oil. If consumed in excess, the surplus fat can quickly exceed the body's daily energy needs, making blood sugar control more difficult. Moreover, the fat in peanuts slows down digestion and nutrient absorption. This leads to delayed but prolonged spikes in blood sugar, making diabetics more prone to post-meal blood sugar imbalances. On top of that, eating peanuts fried in oil or roasted with salt raises bad cholesterol and triglyceride levels, further increasing the risk of cardiovascular complications in diabetic patients. That's why many experts advise that people with diabetes should strictly limit high-fat foods, including peanuts. Instead, they should prioritize low glycemic, High-fiber foods such as green vegetables, whole grains, and boiled legumes. These not only provide necessary nutrients but also help maintain stable blood sugar levels. In addition to gout and diabetes, people with high blood pressure or heart disease are also in the group that should absolutely avoid eating too many peanuts. The reason is that peanuts contain a considerable amount of fat and calories. For healthy individuals, the unsaturated fats in peanuts can help lower bad cholesterol. But for patients with high blood pressure, the real issue lies in the method of preparation. Normally, peanuts are often roasted with salt or fried in oil. Salt makes the body retain water, increasing pressure inside blood vessels, which pushes already high blood pressure even higher. Meanwhile, the oil and fat used for frying turn into harmful trans fats, making blood vessels stiff and less elastic. Over time, this forces the heart to work harder to pump blood, eventually leading to heart failure, stroke, or heart attack. In addition, people with heart disease often need to take daily medication to stabilize blood pressure and prevent blood clots. Eating peanuts the wrong way, with excess fat, can interfere with the effectiveness of these medications, making the condition harder to control. That's why people with high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, or a history of heart attack should strictly limit peanuts, especially fried or salted ones. If consumed at all, only a very small amount should be eaten, and preferably prepared by boiling or cooking into porridge, so it's easier to digest and safer. Not only those with high blood pressure and heart disease, but people suffering from liver and gallbladder problems must also avoid peanuts. As you know, the liver is responsible for metabolizing fat, while the gallbladder releases bile to help digest it. The problem is that peanuts contain nearly 50% fat. Eating too many forces the liver and gallbladder to overwork, which worsens existing conditions. For people with hepatitis, cirrhosis, or fatty liver, eating large amounts of peanuts is like forcing the liver to work beyond its capacity, which can lead to liver function decline. For those with gallstones or cholecystitis, peanuts stimulate bile secretion, causing abdominal pain, indigestion, and can even trap stones in the bile ducts, an extremely dangerous situation. Especially for people who have had their gallbladder removed, digesting fat becomes even more difficult. In such cases, eating peanuts means fat cannot be properly broken down, leading to bloating, gas, and prolonged diarrhea. That's why patients with liver or gallbladder disease must be extremely cautious. If they crave peanuts, they should eat only very small amounts, prepared simply, such as adding a few peanuts to porridge. Fried or oily peanut dishes should be strictly avoided, as they only add more burden to the liver and gallbladder. After the liver and gallbladder, the kidneys are another organ heavily affected by peanuts. In healthy individuals, the kidneys filter blood and remove waste through urine. But for people with weak kidneys, this function is already impaired. Since peanuts are rich in protein and fat, their metabolism produces more waste products like urea and creatinine, forcing the kidneys to work harder to eliminate them. When too many peanuts are consumed, this burden increases sharply, leading to toxin buildup in the blood and accelerating kidney disease progression. Furthermore, peanuts are high in phosphorus and potassium. In kidney disease patients, the body cannot eliminate excess potassium, which can cause irregular heartbeat. Excess phosphorus, meanwhile, weakens bones and causes body aches. That's why people with kidney disease or those undergoing dialysis must avoid or strictly limit peanuts. If they do eat them, it should only be in very small amounts and under the guidance of a nutritionist. For this group, even a small habit like eating peanuts regularly can unexpectedly worsen their condition very quickly. We cannot overlook the group of overweight and obese individuals when talking about the harmful effects of peanuts. Folks, in 100 grams of peanuts there are more than 560 calories, which is nearly equivalent to a full bowl of rice. On top of that, peanuts contain almost 50% fat. While much of it is considered healthy fat, Eating too much means the excess energy quickly gets stored as body fat. For those already struggling with excess weight, habits like eating salted roasted peanuts, fried peanuts, or peanut butter only cause calorie intake to skyrocket, making weight control more difficult. Over time, obesity worsens and brings along other health issues such as fatty liver, high blood lipids, elevated blood pressure, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. The danger lies in the common belief that peanuts are a healthy nut and therefore the more, the better. But for overweight and obese people, this is an invisible trap. Just one extra handful of peanuts a day, without portion control, can add enough excess energy to cause rapid weight gain, making weight loss efforts far more challenging. That's why, for this group, peanuts should be placed on the strictly limited list. If consumed, it should only be in very small amounts, just a few peanuts, and absolutely avoid fried peanuts or sugar and fat-loaded peanut butter. Eating peanuts improperly is like fueling excess fat accumulation, harming long-term health. Next are people with stomach, colon, or general digestive issues. Even for healthy individuals, peanuts are harder to digest compared to many other nuts due to their high oil content. For those with gastritis, stomach ulcers, colitis, or digestive disorders, peanuts are nothing but a burden on the gut. The thin red skin covering peanuts contains a lot of insoluble fiber, and eating too much can cause bloating, indigestion, and even scratch the stomach lining. Meanwhile, the fat in peanuts stimulates the stomach to produce more acid for digestion, making ulcers feel more painful and uncomfortable. For those with colitis, eating a lot of peanuts may trigger diarrhea, gas, or increased intestinal spasms. Another issue is that many people prefer peanuts roasted in oil or fried. For someone with a weak stomach, this combination of oil and fat slows digestion, leaving food stagnant for longer, which leads to gas, acid reflux, and nausea. In the long run, this not only worsens stomach or colon conditions but also reduces the body's ability to absorb nutrients. That's why this group should limit peanuts as much as possible in their daily diet. If they truly crave them, only a very small amount should be eaten, preferably boiled peanuts, and only after a main meal to prevent overburdening the stomach. The last group I want to mention is pregnant women. Folks, many expectant mothers believe that eating peanuts will provide extra nutrients to help the baby develop well. But in reality, consuming peanuts during pregnancy carries several risks. Peanuts contain proteins that are common allergens. If a mother eats a lot during pregnancy, the baby's immune system can be stimulated too early, increasing the risk of peanut allergy after birth. A study at St. Justin Hospital in Canada showed that children whose mothers ate peanuts while pregnant were 4 times more likely to develop allergies than others. Peanut allergy is dangerous. It can cause hives, breathing difficulties, and even life-threatening anaphylaxis in young children. Not only that, peanuts are also rich in fat and calories. If expectant mothers consume too much, it can lead to rapid weight gain, raising the risk of gestational diabetes and preeclampsia. Both complications pose serious threats to the health of both mother and child. That's why pregnant women should limit peanut consumption, especially during the first and last trimesters. If eaten at all, it should be in very small amounts, simply prepared, and never fried in oil. Most importantly, pregnant women should consult their doctor before including peanuts in their diet to ensure absolute safety for the baby. Now, folks, if you belong to one of the groups that must avoid peanuts, such as those with allergies, gout, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, liver or gallbladder problems, weak kidneys, or sensitive stomachs, but still crave that familiar nutty flavor, you can absolutely switch to other tree nuts and oilseeds. The general rule is to choose the lowest risk option for your condition. Keep it within about 20 to 30 grams per day, and prioritize dry roasting or boiling instead of deep frying. Also, avoid adding salt or sugar to prevent raising blood pressure or blood sugar. For people with peanut allergies, the safest alternatives are usually oilseeds such as pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame, flaxseed, chia, or hemp seeds. These are not legumes, so the risk of cross-allergy is lower. However, if you have severe allergies, make sure to choose products clearly labeled, not processed on the same line as peanuts, to avoid cross-contamination. And always test with a very small amount first. If you want to try tree nuts like almonds, walnuts, cashews, macadamias, or pistachios, it's best to get an allergy test since some people react to both groups. For gout or high uric acid, most tree nuts and oilseeds are low in purines and therefore safer than peanuts when eaten in moderation. Walnuts are rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3 ALA. Macadamias provide gentle unsaturated fats that are easy on the digestive system. And pumpkin seeds are high in magnesium to support metabolism. The key is still to limit total fat intake so as not to slow down uric acid elimination. And never pair nuts with alcohol, since that's a major gout trigger. For diabetes or insulin resistance, the best choices are pistachios, almonds, and walnuts. These nuts have very low glycemic indexes, are rich in healthy fats and fiber, and help stabilize blood sugar after meals when consumed in the right portion. Avoid nut butters that contain added sugar, syrups, or condensed milk. If you enjoy nut butter, go for unsweetened almond or sesame butter. Spread thinly on whole grain bread or paired with vegetables for a snack that's both tasty and healthy. For people with high blood pressure or heart disease, the key is to avoid salt. Unsalted dry roasted nuts like almonds, walnuts, or pistachios are rich in unsaturated fats, potassium, and magnesium, all of which benefit blood vessels. On the other hand, just one small pack of salted nuts can be enough to push blood pressure higher. If you crave a creamy, nutty sauce, you can try tahini mixed with lemon, garlic, and a bit of warm water to make a salad dressing that's both delicious and safe. For those with weak kidneys or a history of kidney stones, doctors usually recommend limiting foods high in oxalates. In this group, almonds, cashews, and peanuts have higher oxalate levels that can promote crystal formation. Safer choices include macadamias, walnuts, and pumpkin seeds, which are gentler on the kidneys. No matter what type you choose, it's important to drink enough water throughout the day to reduce the risk of crystal buildup, and to keep each serving at around 20 to 25 grams. For people with sensitive stomachs or colons, it's better to prioritize nuts that are easier to digest and smoother in texture, such as almond butter, tahini, or chia and flax seeds soaked until they form a gel, which helps soothe the gut lining. In contrast, whole nuts with tough skins or those fried in oil often cause bloating and indigestion. A gentler method is to soak almonds overnight, then lightly roast them at about 250 to 285 degrees Fahrenheit, 120 to 140 degrees Celsius, for 10 to 15 minutes, before chewing thoroughly or blending into a smooth paste for easier digestion. As for portion size and usage, you can follow the small handful rule, which equals about 20 to 30 grams, roughly 14 to 20 almonds, 7 to 10 walnut halves, or 1.5 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds. Pairing 1 part nuts with 3 parts vegetables helps lower calorie density while keeping that nutty flavor. For storage, keep them in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. In hot or humid climates, refrigerate them to prevent rancidity or mold. If the nuts develop an unusual smell, mold spots, or a bitter taste, discard them immediately, since roasting again cannot remove the toxins. Finally, if you want the crunch and flavor similar to roasted peanuts but in a safer form, try dry roasted pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, or crispy roasted chickpeas, provided you're not allergic to legumes. You can season them with garlic powder, chili powder, black pepper, or dried herbs, using little or no salt, or just a light sprinkle at the end. This way, you can satisfy your craving for a nutty flavor while choosing options that are better suited for various health conditions. You see, folks, while peanuts are nutritious, affordable, and familiar in everyday meals, not everyone can eat them safely. The important thing is to listen to your body and choose foods that match your health condition. A small handful of peanuts a day may be a tonic for one person, but a hidden danger for another. That's why, instead of eating out of habit, you should eat in a scientific and selective way. If you'd like to know more details about safe peanut portions, the right cooking methods, and recipe ideas that maximize their benefits, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And remember to subscribe to the channel so we can continue sharing valuable nutrition knowledge, helping ourselves and our families stay healthy and live joyfully every day. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.